Hello, Mayor Jeff Schielke speaking to you on Friday, December the 4th, 2020. And we are here in the midst of the massive COVID problem throughout the United States of America. We are no different than anybody else. We continue to encourage people to wear masks. I wear one, but when I do talking like this, I bring it down below my chin so people can hear me, because I've already, as I've said before, get complaints when you're talking to the mask. People have some of the older people specifically have a hard time understanding you. So we've got the masks. We're asking people to socially distance. The governor has issued some orders asking for certain businesses to restrict their activities. Some like to do it better than others. We have issued some warning notices to some businesses, but we haven't written any tickets, because quite frankly, myself and then others in the city government are of the belief that we really don't have the state law underneath of us to start writing tickets. And so that is an issue that needs to be dealt with by the Illinois General Assembly. That being said, get that kind of the bad news out of the way. I guess we continue to just plead with everybody to be cooperative, to keep the epidemic spread from becoming a big story in our town. It's already big enough, and we don't want any more than we've already had. Through the stretch of this thing, we've kept Batavia's numbers pretty low in comparison to others, but we've not been immune, and we do continue to have a problem. So please be understanding and cooperative with us as we continue to work through this. Today, starting on a really high note and something I'm extremely pleased with, we have received quite a few donations to both the Access Toy Drive and our plea for support at the Interfaith Food Pantry down on South Shumway Avenue at Flynn Street. We are trying to keep a number of Batavia families, some of whom experienced job layoffs, in groceries, and many of these folks have small children. So if you can find it in your heart to make a donation to the Interfaith Food Pantry, Eileen Pizzaro down there, who's the executive director, has done a wondrous job, and I really think that everything that we can do to support her and that organization really is going to pay thousands of moments of positive benefit to the people of Batavia who are going to be the benefactors of this. Likewise, out at the now closed Sam's Club site on Randall Road, we have the Bailey and the Dubus's family very busy setting up what we call the Batavia Access Toy Drive. Last week I had a nice experience of receiving $500 of great generosity from some of the kindest hearts I'll ever know in my life, and probably some of the very best people we have in this community. This week already I've been handed over $200 in cash by people on the street or whatever, just saying that they want to support the Access Toy Drive. The actual toy drive is scheduled to take place on Sunday, December 13th, and we're going to have it a line of cars out at Sam's Club, and so the Batavia Police Department is going to join us out there, and we're going to hopefully correctly direct traffic. And then I guess I want to kind of put the word out to everybody that we are now being told the Sam's Club building and property has been sold to private developers. So it's no longer a Walmart controlled property. And the developers so far have been very cooperative with us. They've allowed us to, no charge, put the Access Toy Drive in a corner of it out there, and so we've got that underway. When this is over with, however, on the 13th, we are led to believe that there's going to be renewed activity out there, probably in the parking lot and also in the site building. And we think we're going to be a COVID testing site. And we don't know if that will then develop into something else COVID related out there. We have not heard final words, but there may be a lot of traffic and activity there. And I just want to put everybody on the alert that if suddenly you see a whole bunch of cars you hadn't seen there before, that the potential exists at the Sam's Club store out there after we're done with it, with the toy drive on the 13th, starting the 14th, there could be a lot of activity there. So in talking about changes in our community, another thing that I'd like to report, I feel this is good news. Waste Management, who was one of the original waste pickup folks and haulers, and was very involved with Kane County for a number of years and building Settlers Hills and the Kane County Cougar Stadium and other things. They have reemerged, and they have bought the garbage contractor who currently has the Batavia contract. So I'm not sure, nobody is quite sure, what kind of truck you may see running around Batavia. And garbage days aren't going to change any. Everybody's going to honor the current contracts. But you may see some waste management vehicles intermixed with the other ones that are floating around Batavia. But waste management is very much alive and well, and they are back in Batavia. And I'm personally, as the mayor, I'm pleased to have them here because we have had a very good relationship with those folks. As you know, they have maintained a facility out on Kirk Road where they do a lot of their truck repairs and replacements of parts and whatever have you. And they were very supportive and instrumental when we put the waste transfer station in out on Hubbard Street out in the industrial park. And the waste transfer station has ended up being a very strong source of revenue to the city of Batavia. So all things considered, garbage is not a nice thing to have to deal with, but it's necessary. And I feel like we've done the very best we could do. And Waste Management has always shown us that they have a high degree of corporate and community responsibility in their hearts. Example being, when we opened up the waste transfer station, they agreed to a requirement, which is still going on, that every few days they send a team down Kirk Road from their front gate down to the I-88 tollway interchange, and they walk both sides of the road and they pick up any debris that's laying alongside the road that may or may not even have fallen off of a garbage truck that was coming or going to the waste transfer station, just because they want to be good neighbors and they want to show us that they're serious about maintaining the environment and be friends with us. So nice things to say about them, and we are very, very supportive of their return to Batavia, and look forward to many years of working with them in the community. This past week I had the opportunity to tour the still under construction Windmill Landing Retirement Center, which is the large building that's being built on Fabian Parkway directly to the west of the Walmart store. And it's a wondrous building in there, and I'm sure right after the first of the year they're going to open it up for leasing of their units, but I believe they're going to have some public opportunities for people to come and take a trip through it and tour it. And it's going to have a Alzheimer's contingency unit within it, and we were shown how that's going to work and how they've designed it. And I cannot say enough for what I saw there as far as creativity and caring and really trying to be a good neighbor within the community. So again, I think that's a very, very positive thing that's going to happen, and they're telling us that they're going to start leasing sometime in 2021 and probably the early part of the year. And I've already met the management staff, and they are highly competent and very nice people to deal with, and everything seems to be going well in that regards. The other thing I'll just kind of tantalize your interest is, we have a new restaurant that's going to be opening kitty corner from City Hall at the corner of Houston and Island Avenue out here. And it's going to be called the Windmill Grill and Pizzeria. And I think when we first met with them, they were very interested. We were still in the process of John Dillon and Ron Link and the team rebuilding the windmill out here, because as you know, it got taken down in a bad windstorm last year. And we got that back up. If you haven't stopped by and seen that, it's all been totally restored. And of course, that windmill was donated to the community by the Art Swanson family in tribute to Art and his relationships with the early days of the windmill industry. And his wife Marion and his sons Denny and Wayne contributed the funds to do that, as they also did with the object art out in the Riverwalk by the Peg Bond Center, which is the children holding hands in the circle. They also purchased that, I believe, from an artist in Colorado and donated that to the downtown Riverwalk. So that's back up. But the Windmill restaurant people, now they're calling themselves the Windmill Grill and Pizzeria. They hope to open after the first of the year. And I think they are experienced restaurateurs. They have an existing restaurant down in the Springfield area, which I believe they're handing off to family members to run, or to somebody they know, and there's family of theirs now up here, so I think that was one of the tantalizing factors that they wanted to come into Batavia. So that one's for sure. It's under reconstruction now. They're doing a major restoration inside the building. They've tore it all out, brought in new equipment, and so I'm looking forward to that one. But where I guess I'm going here is that in the last week, we've had conversations with yet a couple more restaurants that seem to be very interested in opening in downtown Batavia. And so I don't want to say any more about those because I've been asked to go to meetings and meet people that are talking about doing all this. I was told by one of the owners of one of the buildings that we are in, talking about this, that he thinks he got some quotes back yesterday and he thinks it's going to work, that this restaurant will be locating at this location. If it does, it'll be, I think, a very nice addition to downtown Batavia. And as I've already talked about, we have several others kind of under construction. Alderman Abby Beck and her husband and a partner are working on Abby's father's former gas station at the corner of First and Batavia Avenue. And we'll plan to open that up sometime in the coming year as a restaurant. And so we've got some really interesting situations going with our eating habits around here. And a lot of that is probably driven, I've been talking to some of the people, why do you want to come to Batavia? The fact that Fermilab is now building this $1.5 billion new neutron accelerator out there, which will be bringing in a whole bunch of foreign folks, because there's a lot of foreign investment in this Fermilab situation. They're finding out already that there's a number of visitors to Fermilab who are in here for the preliminary construction of this thing. They're coming from all over the world, and they like, the Italian and the Tuscan and the Chinese and the Mexican, all the different ethnic foods that are now available in downtown Batavia. With Fermilab's kind of presence here, it's created yet a whole new audience of potential customers, and so we're really taking a very strong interest in that, and I think that's going to be one of the trademarks of downtown Batavia in the future is restaurants. Another thing, interestingly, I've been in a couple of barber shops. I've got to go later today over to Fotos' barbershop because they're having a drawing for some charity work that they're doing over there. But I was in one of the other barbershops the other day and I didn't get involved, but I got into an argument because the lady was there wanting to get her blonde hair cut a little bit, and there was family members standing there arguing with her, well, don't cut it too short, you look better with it long. And she had a very pretty face, so I think she probably could look good with long or short hair. But apparently haircuts and hair coloring and all the things that go with it, well, I guess with the holidays coming, there's a lot of people tuning up to do that. I've had a couple people here in the office tell me that they were in the process of doing it. And I have some friends that are telling me they're getting ready to do it. So there's just a lot of people that are out there looking to do stuff with hair and whatever have you. So I know members of my own family are thinking of doing stuff like this. So it's just one of the things that kind of goes when you're I'm thinking a lot of it may be with everything else kind of shut down and so many of the traditions that we do over the holidays, people are still looking for that particular thing to get going that will really put some spike into their life. And the one thing I would like to say, I am extremely proud and pleased as the mayor to begin to tour Batavia at night and drive around in every neighborhood, east side, west side, southwest, southeast, northwest, northeast, and see all the outside Christmas decorations that Batavians are putting in their yard. And as you may remember, in the last few weeks I've been asking people to think about kind of juicing up their properties a little bit and brightening things up with Christmas decorations. And I guess I'll make the statement as the mayor that I think I encourage everybody to get in the car and go out and ride around. Because Batavia now has what I believe is the greatest and grandest and most wonderful Christmas display of lights that we've ever had. And hopefully that includes what we've done downtown. We've had the tree lighting ceremony, so we have the community Christmas tree lit down here by the Peg Bond Center. And there's a lot of positivity floating around here and seasonal message to come from all that. And I know some of our churches are trying very hard to come up with meaningful Christmas programs and services. And so I think that the true meaning of Christmas and the holidays, which we're all going to be talking about in the next 20 days or so here is really very much alive and well in Batavia, despite all the COVID impediments and everything else that have been flying at us. There is truly a spirit of Christmas alive and well in Batavia, and I am extremely proud of that and pleased by it. And if you haven't got yourself in the spirit yet, I really would encourage you to do so, because there is the opportunity to really do some stuff that will really, make our town a great place. And as I say, we've got some much needed causes. The Batavia United Way has been out distributing some gifts and baskets to some people that they've identified as people who don't have anybody in their life to support them. So they've been making some efforts to deliver some stuff to folks. There's just a lot of kind deeds and kindnesses out there. There's a number of folks who have talked to me and say, well, Jeff, I'd really like to do something, but I don't want anybody to know that I did this. So that's why I'm walking around as I'm sitting here talking to you. I got $200 of cash in my pocket that I'm trying to find to get out to the toy drive this afternoon and drop off for them to purchase new toys, because they're of the opinion this year, with all the toys that we've got, that we got to give stuff that's still in its original wrapping and packaging, because if you give them something that's been played with by somebody else, you don't know what could be on that as far as any of the COVID things. So we don't want to get any of that going. So that's why we're buying all stuff new, and we've gotten some cooperative spirit from some of our merchants and giving us good deals on buying toys. So just a positive message this week. I want to close by also, the city of Batavia is the one government in town that we kind of have to continue to do stuff the way we have to do it. We can't, send you text messages very easy and service you. So when you need a policeman, you need a fireman, you need public works, you need community billing, you need the building department, you need the engineering department, we have to be here. And so we've got some of our people not part-time, but working from home, but we're open every day and we're down here, and if you call us 24 hours a day, somebody will answer the phone, because we keep the police department front desk open 24 hours a day, just so we got everybody connected up, and there's no time you can call the city that you won't get some type of response. But some of our other governments, specifically, the school district has been put under a lot of pressures, and there's huge arguments about whether or not they should be in class or not, and the pros and cons of that, and I'm not going to get into that, because we have a very professional and competent school board, and whatever they decide I will support. Our friends at the Batavia Park District and the Batavia Library are the ones that kind of have been caught in between here, because a lot of their classes that they offer, or book reviews, or recreational activities, much of that had to be curtailed. And both of them are trying very hard online to offer services, or the library is offering curbside pickup in front of the library, and if you call up and say you want this book, they'll have it out there for you. They're doing a lot of nice things up at the Batavia Library in this very difficult moment. So at the end of the day, I just want to say how proud I am of all of Batavia for our spirit of helping each other and coming forth and doing everything that could be done. And I guess my final comment of the day is that about a half hour ago, I got an email from our City Public Works and Engineering Department informing me that the work on Main Street and Batavia Avenue is going to be, for what we've got done this year, is going to be ending at the end of this week. And we're going to maybe do a little bit of cleanup next week. But we're going to be reopening Batavia Avenue to 4 lanes. And we've poured a lot of concrete up there, that some of which we may need to still cover for a couple of days just to let it cure. But we got the sidewalks in on Batavia Avenue. We got the road work back. We're going to do the east side of Batavia Avenue from First down to Elm next year, but the new part will be there to be driven on. So, but during the winter and the holiday season, going to the Episcopal Church or the Congregational Church or Bethany Lutheran or the Methodist, should be very easy, because the roads will be totally reopened. And then certainly the Batavia Library, hopefully when everything clears up with the COVID, they'll have an easy reopening. We've taken down the tables on River Street and Houston Street, and Water Street, and we're back to all lanes are open. And so that's the story with that. And so again, have a great pre-holiday season, and I look forward to talking with you next week.